All right. So, DeVonta Smith is joining us here on WIP as we broadcast, by the way, today from the NovaCare Complex. It's driven by Hitch RV. Hitch RV, your premier family-owned dealership. For locations, go to hitchrv.com. Eagles have another practice coming up in about an hour and a half. It's an overcast day here in South Philadelphia, but big expectations for the Eagles early going here at the 2024 training camp. And let's welcome the Eagles star. He's young, but he's not that young anymore. Fourth-year Eagles star wide receiver. Big contract, big expectations. Great player, Mr. DeVonta Smith. DeVonta, how are you, pal?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Good for you, man. So, yesterday, how'd it go? I mean, you're back at practice, back at camp. How's it feel?
It feels good, get back around the guys, fly around, play some football.
You got to be excited to be amongst the dudes again, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, DeVonta, it's really interesting. I'm going to be fascinated to see to what extent you guys talk about last year, think about last year, or not. Let me ask you this question. As you reconvene, you're with your dudes, you're trying to crank it back up. To what extent, how it ended, is that on your mind and something you guys are talking about and using for fuel? Or are you, so want to turn the page that you try not to think about it and you choose not to talk about it and, you just dusted that whole thing and this is totally brand new? How do you balance that?
I don't think no one cares, honestly, because anything last year is not going to help you this year. Last year is not going to make you play better this year. So you have to focus on the things that you have to do this year to make sure that you don't get back to where you was last year.
How have you improved as a receiver this offseason?
I would say, every year you learn different things. You start studying, more people and things like that, see what routines other people do.
Did you study anyone in particular this offseason?
I've been watching a lot of CD. Definitely been in this offense, the things that, Kellen has done with him. So
sure. Watching
him, seeing how they used him.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. Is it how fun is football? How fun is this offense?
It's a lot of fun. A lot of guys getting the opportunity to do a lot of different things. I think the most important piece is, it's a lot of things that, some guys haven't done that other guys have done in the past years. So we're able to, communicate with each other. I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? What do you look for when you're running this route, that route?
Are there any examples of that you can tell us about? What are you doing that's new that you haven't done before?
Without divulging the game plan
Sure.
and how you're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. But
that does sound fun. You get to do something new that you know.
How different do you think it will be,
DeVonta?
DeVonta? Is it going to be a lot different, a little different? What are we looking at here?
It's always going to be different when you have a new OC. Everybody runs the same thing, but it's different terminology. So, getting down to his terminology and things like that. So it's always different when you have a new OC. So you just have to, get up to speed with how he calls things and the way that he calls it.
So John played for the Eagles 20 years ago, played on the team that reached the Super Bowl in 2004. When Jalen made the comment a few months ago, about a month and a half ago, 95% different, John interpreted that to be Jalen's talking about terminology, which you just referenced. Is that your sense of it?
The language was 95%.
Yeah, do you think
not the football.
Yeah, do you think he was talking about the language, not the actual play design, but the language is so different, and that's how he got to 95%?
Yeah, football is football. Everybody runs the same thing. It's just everybody calls it something differently.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so DeVonta Smith with us, and I said, DeVonta at the start of this, star wide receiver DeVonta Smith. And you've been that from Alabama to here. When you hear that, though, at the NFL level, star wide receiver DeVonta Smith, year 4, paid all this money now, big expectations. I mean, what is that? How do you take that in, knowing that you are a star wide receiver in the NFL?
Honestly, I don't hear it majority of the time. I just hear receiver. I don't really hear it because, whether you're a star or people label you as not a star, you still have a job. You still have to go out there and do your job. No one is going to, take any slack off of you. No matter if you're a star wide receiver or not, everyone's going to view you the same. Everyone's going to expect you to make this play. At least that's how it is in our group. No matter if it's me or it's AJ or it's anybody else, we expect everybody to go out there and make that play.
But why are you different than you get the job done as a wide receiver in the NFL at the highest level? Every other guy that I've ever seen that gets it done at your level is a diva. How do you get it done at a diva level without being a diva? And why is it that no one else seems capable of doing this?
I wouldn't look at it as, guys being divas. Some guys are just very more passionate at some of the things that they do. I think for me,
Well, you're
I'm
passionate.
I am, but I'm kind of an even keel guy. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. So, you have some guys that, being up here is like that's their game. That's how they perform. That's how they function. And to each his own. But for me, it's just I kind of just stay level with it.
So, DeVonta, how do you, for lack of a better way to put it, survive and thrive with your body type across the middle when, you're not built like A.J. Brown, but you succeed essentially at the same level? Like, how with that build are you able to withstand the hits and get right on back up? Because, in my opinion, at your level, that's pretty rare.
I think it just comes down to, the work that I put in on my body. Getting here as early as I possibly could, making sure that I get with the trainers, making sure that I get with, the strength staff and do the things that I need to do to stay durable. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, some guys are just blessed to, not be able to have those injuries and things like that.
Marvin Harrison had that. Did you study him at all growing up? I mean, and obviously watching him when you were a kid, and he was obviously eventually a future Hall of Famer. I mean, again, not a huge guy, but a prolific career.
No, I didn't watch much of him, but I've heard a lot about him, especially, Amo playing with him.
Yep.
Definitely hear a lot about him.
Do you have to be tougher than everybody else because you're lighter than everybody else?
I think that's part of it. Part of it is being tough. Part of playing football is being tough.
Absolutely. But what you do, it's I don't know, in my opinion, it's braver than a guy who's 275 pounds. Like, he's got physics on his side. Like, what you're doing, it takes a little more, I don't know, gumption and suspension of fear. Like, you're fearless. And yet I thought, based on your build, that you were not going to be able to play that way. It just, we all find it remarkable, and we appreciate it a lot.
Yeah,
So thank
a lot of guts. All right, DeVonta, let's talk about the coming season as it relates to the very beginning. Brazil. So when you found out week 1 in Brazil, what was your reaction?
It's just football in a different country.
Good against a good team, against a really good team. So what can you tell us? We've been talking this offseason about the additions on the defensive side on our roster. We got a lot of new cornerbacks. We got 13 cornerbacks on the roster, a lot of talented young guys. What can you tell us about these new cornerbacks that are going to be taking the field for us this year? You get to practice against them. What have you seen?
I think the beauty of it is it's a wide variety. Guys do different things. Guys have different play styles. So I think we have the opportunity to see every type of corner there is.
Sure. And that's great for the wide receivers. Yeah. I hadn't. Yeah. So it's like a symbiotic relationship. You're challenging them. They're challenging you. Got a lot of talent.
Yeah, DeVonta Smith with us here on WIP as we broadcast from the NovaCare Complex. DeVonta, you referred to yourself earlier as even keeled, and that's certainly been our impression from afar for a couple of years now. Jalen, you spend a lot of time around him. How would you describe him? Jalen is what from a personality standpoint, from a leadership standpoint? What is he?
I would say the same way as me. He's more vocal than I am, and that's kind of what you expect out of a quarterback, to be more vocal. With him, having to do a lot more talking, checks at the line and things like that. So he's a lot more vocal than me, but we're kind of the same, even keel guys. We speak up when we need to.
So our offense struggled against pressure last year, against the blitz. How can you, as a wide receiver, help this year to beat the blitz?
I think one, it comes down to what we want to do offensively. Everybody handles the blitz differently. Some teams handle the blitz with throwing screens. Some teams handle the blitz with sight adjust. So, right now we're kind of in the stage where we're still, it's day 2, so we're still trying to figure it out, trying to get it down packed. So, don't really know what the answer will be right now because it's so early. But eventually we're going to figure it out.
Does it feel different without Fletcher and Jason Kelsey here? Because they've been here for over a decade, and yesterday was the first practice without him. Does it feel different, weird?
Well, Kelsey's been here almost every day. So.
That's what everyone says. So, he's got to broadcast games. John, Kelsey can't be critical of the Eagles if he has to be, right? He still is an Eagle. He's practically
I don't know
still in the
how
locker
you
room
navigate that.
Of course, DeVonta, there's not going to be any reason to be critical this year, right? You guys. All right, so after last year, let's go down here a second more. So, walking off the field from Tampa Bay, I mean, you had to feel like you as a team let an incredible opportunity go. I mean, from 10-1 to that, right? I mean, you had to feel like you all collectively, and I thought you were incredible, by the way. Let me be very clear. But a lot of guys less so. But as a team, you had to feel like you let an incredible opportunity go.
Yeah, you know, anytime you're in the playoffs, it's an amazing opportunity. You know, another week to get an opportunity to advance to play one more week. So, yeah, we definitely had an amazing opportunity, and we just didn't capitalize.
And, you know, I don't even mean just that game. I mean that whole month and a half. I mean, for us, that was stunning. Because from where you were at 10-1, look, I don't want to, totally dwell on last year. Let me just say this. I hope you guys are using it as fuel. Because, I mean, John, how would you describe the feeling after that? We were shocked. 10-1 of that.
But, it was almost like there were two seasons. Like we as fans, we felt like, oh my gosh, we're 10-1, we're on top of the world, and then it just like the bottom fell out for us.
Fell out totally.
Yeah.
All right, let's do 5. DeVonta, when we have guests on, and DeVonta Smith, we like to do 5 random questions, non-football questions, just hopping around. All right, favorite athlete, non-football athlete growing up. Your favorite athlete as a kid was who?
Aaron Brooks.
Aaron Brooks. I'm struggling. Who the heck is he?
Quarterback. Saints.
On the Saints.
Saints,
Oh, okay,
remember?
yeah, Aaron Brooks. Okay. Normally I get Michael Jordan and LeBron James. I got Aaron Brooks.
I played against
best
Aaron
TV
Brooks.
show right now, DeVonta. What show are you watching? Maybe it's not the best, but what show are you watching right now?
Family Business.
Are you a cat or a dog guy?
Neither.
Really? Do you have any pets?
I have a dog, but I don't.
But you're just not a
It's technically not. It's not my dog, but it's my dog.
Yeah. All right. So you're more of a dog guy than a cat guy.
No.
Are you just not a pet guy?
I don't like pets.
I'm with you, DeVonta.
What the heck? He doesn't like pets either.
We're on the same page.
Why? Why don't you like pets?
They're a nuisance.
Yeah, I just don't.
You do-
It's just sloppy.
They're sloppy.
Yeah.
Some dogs are sloppy. Some dogs don't slobber, and they're not sloppy at all.
No, all dogs are sloppy.
You just need to meet the right dog, DeVonta.
All right, DeVonta. The most fun you had this offseason. What was the most cool thing you did? Obviously, you get a couple months off. Most cool, fun thing you did this offseason was what?
I would say just spending time with the family, with my daughter.
What was it like to inform your family that you had signed that contract?
It was great. It was, felt like I had some weight taken off my shoulders. It was exciting, and it was just a blessing.
What's the best thing you've ever eaten?
Etouffee.
Wow. That's some fancy stuff.
That's high level right
That's
there.
like poofy souffle.
That's way beyond my
I've
deal.
never had that.
Hey, DeVonta, good luck this
That is
season.
classy.
Let me say this, man, and I know we asked you a couple questions about last year. Know this from my standpoint. Even when things fell apart, and I was very clear here on the station saying it, you delivered the whole year. You're unbelievable, man. So, look, you got a lot of people in Philadelphia that you're amongst their very favorite players. A great young wide receiver, not that young anymore. But I remember watching in Alabama in that title game. I remember that night, and James, you'll remember this the next day, I guess it was the next day, saying, that's the guy the Eagles should draft.
Yep.
And they got you. And you have delivered in your 3 years, man. So congratulations on the contract, the start of your career.
Keep it up.
Keep rocking and rolling, man. And we hope for great things for you and your team this year, man. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, there he is, Eagles star wide receiver, DeVonta Smith.